All right. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. Let's do another one of these ones where I'm looking at you and you're looking at me. But I don't have any comics to show. But I'm doing some organizing, doing some work around the house today. And I found this basket that was over here. It's very dusty, but this basket's just full of completely unorganized photographs. So I thought, what the heck? We're going to just go for it. So I'm going to grab the first one and let's do this. I don't know what we're going to find, what it's going to be like. There's a lot of pictures in here, apparently. It really looks like a lot. But let's kind of check them out. You guys want to? Let's look at them. Could be anything from any point or period of my life. Could be pictures of anyone, whoever it is. Look, this is the first thing. It's from Payless. There's nothing written on it. It doesn't have an address or a name on it. It's just a Payless, an old Payless photo thing, and then you can't see. I pulled it straight out, and so should we start with this Polaroid? It looks like a Polaroid. Let's start with the upside down. Let's just go for it. It's a Polaroid picture of me, and I'm in the war. This is a Operation Desert Storm. That's me, and that sign I'm pointing at, I don't know why it's not. Why isn't it focusing? Is there a reason why it's not focusing? We're going to be able to fix this? Maybe that's as good as it gets. Is that better? I don't know. Anyway, that's me. Look, I got a protective mask there on the right side, and I'm holding up a little American flag. This is a sign that was in front of our tent that I made. Those are little signs for everyone's hometown. So everybody's hometown that was in my platoon, this is their town, and then we made up how many miles it was to where their town was, right? Just like in that show MASH. Like hold on, let me show you real quick. I can't just leave you here, so I'm gonna make you come with me. In that picture, I'm pointing at that sign. See, that's the sign. It says Pacific Grove, California, 8,370 miles. So I wrote everybody's hometowns right there. That's my hometown, Pacific Grove, and that's what I'm pointing out in this picture. Now that I found this picture, it's cool that it was on the top. Matter of fact, let's put this back there. I'm trying to kind of collect the military and army memorabilia over here. This shelf fell down a while ago. I bumped into it and all this stuff spilled over and fell down. But I would like to have this picture up here. So we're going to put it right there. See, all this stuff is all messed up. Anyway, come on, let's go back here. That was only one picture. How long are we going to be able to do this? These videos, I think I only make them 31 minutes long, so that's one picture in no, it's only been 3 minutes. One picture in 3 minutes. Okay, it's not too bad. Next picture. Look, here's our stack. Still, it's a mystery. Boom, what is it? Wow, this is a bunch of army pictures. This is us having lunch. We're eating. We have this is in the back side of our tent. We have this little portable fold out green army card table. Remember these? This is kind of this folding table and these folding metal chairs we're sitting on. This is a valuable commodity in the middle of the desert. You need to know somebody in supply to have these things. But we're eating heartily, it appears. I don't know what we've got going there. A lot of MREs and some other food. Looks like I'm giving the Victory V in my right hand, and it looks like we're toasting something, maybe. I don't know. That's my friend Ken in the middle, Big Daddy. We used to call him Big Daddy. And then on the other side, I'm the guy in the hat. Then across from me is a guy we used to call Bear. That's Bear. And Bear won a Bronze Star in this deployment. He did. He got a Bronze Star out of everybody in this picture. He was the one that got the Bronze Star. And this is somebody. I don't know who this is. There's nothing on the back. I don't know. I'm not sure who this is a picture of. But this is during a, well, I don't know what you would call this, a Mop 4 air raid. This used to happen all the time, right? It happened so often that you completely got used to it and it didn't bug you that much. Next picture, boy, I'm just pulling these out. This is me. Look at little old me. Look at the little buckaroo. We were like, I think, let's look at that basketball hoop in the background, and our laundry hanging on. This is the inside of that tent that you saw the outside of. And there's like, I don't know, like 8 guys inside here, I think. Pretty much everybody in here is a sergeant at this point. So I'm a sergeant, and we're playing around and playing like, we were like doing WWF, like pretending to be like the Hulk Hogan or something. That's my friend Ken, Big Daddy. That's the back of his head. He's getting USA shaved in the back of his head. And then that's my other friend, that's Susio. That's Susio. He's giving Ken that haircut. This is on the back porch. This is me and Ken sitting on the back porch, smoking what we used to call a beady. Smoking a beady. Another picture of Ken and Susio. Susio, like at the beginning, I guess, getting ready to give Ken a haircut. Susio had come over to the tent to give haircuts. He did not live inside of our tent, but he was in our platoon. Really good guy, good friend of ours. Played a lot of spades in this tent. There's me eating some food, or somebody took a picture of me eating. Sitting on that, that's my spot right there. My AO, as they used to say. AO stands for Area of Operations. Look, this is me doing my laundry. This is how, at one point, we're doing our laundry here at this spot that we found. There was running water, and there were these, these oil cans that were cut in half. So we just turned, we made do, and we're doing our laundry. And there you see me. You see the protective mask on my side. I think this picture, or something, I don't know how this happened, but this particular picture of me doing my laundry, like a closer up shot of like this, of like, what would they call it, a cropped shot of this photo made it into the paper back home. And I have that somewhere. Look at this. There's a better picture. That's more clear. I wonder who took that Polaroid. I don't even know who took all these pictures. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if these were my camera or one of my friends. It's very possible. Although I don't see any doubles. It's hard to say though. But that's the same sign. That's me doing the same thing. Oh, at the bottom down there, the last sign, it's all pointing down, and it's kind of down here at the bottom. I think that says Baghdad or something like that, and it's all burned up and smashed, I think. There's the back of Ken's head again, USA. When you're in a war, you can just do whatever you want, kind of. Cut the sleeves off of your t-shirts. Grow your hair long or shave all your hair off. Wear funny t-shirts. I made t-shirts, and I wore my own like not a uniform. You'll see, there might be pictures in here. This is the Persian Gulf. This is us floating in the Persian Gulf on our air mattresses. The green air mattresses that you put on top of that cot that everybody's sitting on, that you sleep on for a year. So you take these green air mattresses and you sign a truck out from the motor pool, and you tell them that you're going somewhere, and then you don't go there. Instead, you just go to the beach all day. It's called shamming. I was the sham master. My friends and I were the sham masters. We spent a lot of time shamming at the beach in Saudi Arabia, as you can see here. This is me, Pescado in the front. That's Pescado. That's what my friends all call me. And that's Big Daddy sitting to the right of me. And we are sitting in the sun at a place called Half Moon Bay, a little beach resort in Saudi Arabia in the Persian Gulf. So like I said, during the war, sometimes we would, whenever we had an opportunity, we would take off. RHIP. RHIP means rank has its privilege. So sometimes you can get away with that sort of thing, but when you're not getting away with that sort of thing, you're doing this sort of thing. So this is the spot that turned into our base camp. So at the beginning, there's nothing. See these big mill vans, these big vans in the background behind Ken right there, and those are filled with our equipment. And it took a long time, a couple of months till those arrived. And until those arrived, we were like living like, you know, Lawrence of Arabia. But then once all of the equipment arrived, we built a hospital in the middle of the desert. And that's what's happening here is we're building a portable hospital. Look at this. I can already tell. This on the back says that's May 87. It's the handwriting of my first wife, Christine. And this is a picture of me in May of 1987. Look at all that hair I used to have. I used to have a lot of hair. I used to wear contacts all the time. I don't wear my contacts anymore. But let's see, that guy looks about 30 pounds lighter, doesn't he? This is Bahrain. This is in Bahrain. That's what this is. This is a ship at the port in Bahrain. Wow, this is a funny picture. This is Fort Sam Houston at the Enlisted Man's Club. This is early on. This is during AIT at Fort Sam Houston, and we're going to Army Medic School. We're becoming combat medical specialists at this point. We were just getting there after being in basic training for, you know, whatever it is, 8 weeks or something at Fort Bliss, Texas. Then we got on the bus, and the bus took us to San Antonio, and all hell broke loose, right? There were girls, and we started partying. And this is two of my friends. That's Alphabet with the cigarette coming out of his mouth, and that's Collins holding up the drink. There's French buffing the floor. This is the barracks in San Antonio. There's French at the basketball court, Fort Sam Houston. Is that Collins? There's Collins making a funny face at the E Club. That's what we used to call the Enlisted Man's Club, Fort Sam Houston. This place used to have 75-cent drinks, so you could get, but you could only get two at a time. So you could get 2 Budweisers for $1.50, 2 Coors for $1.50, or you could get 2 Mai Tais for $1.50, or 2 maybe whiskey and Coke. So there were only like 4 choices. This was at the Enlisted Men Club, and there's a big line. So you would get in line, get your 2 drinks, go back to the table, and power those 2 drinks, and then get back in line. It was a really odd situation. Here's this is it. So this is the E Club. See, it's all dark in there. So it's like a nightclub, but there's really nobody dancing. Everybody's just raging and getting messed up. Everybody's just drinking as much as they possibly can, and then challenging each other to arm wrestling. This guy right here is my friend KV. KV, and then I don't know who this guy is. He's a friend, but I can't remember his name. Wow, look at this. It's a great picture. See, this is what's happening in the E Club. That's Collins, and that's the guy's name is Dick. He's a madman. He was a freaking madman. Look at this stuff. Do you guys have pictures like this? I forget that I have pictures like this. I didn't know these pictures were going to be in here, but I'm really happy that they're in here. This is pure raging. Look at the old style Budweiser cans I was telling you about. So for $1.50, you get 2 of those cans. You come back to the table, you power them down, and and then go back and get back in line and get more. It was the beginning of alcoholism. It was that the Army is training you for alcoholism. Look at this lady walking down the street in Bahrain, balancing a box on her head, effortlessly. What's that writing say? I don't know. It's in Bahraini. It's in Farsi or something. Anyway, this lady was walking down the street, balancing this box, and she's in full hijab, and I took her picture because I thought she looked pretty amazing. This picture on the back says 1966. That means I was 2 years old. This is a picture of my parents. Gosh, where is it? There we go. This is my mother. This is my father. This is my Aunt Jin and my Uncle Ed. And these four people were very close, very close. The two girls, my mother Carmen and her sister Virginia, were 3 years apart, and they grew up in Pacific Grove in Monterey in their high school in the early 20s. And these two men, my father Gene and then my Uncle Ed, the girls met both of them at a club, at a country club in Monterey, a place called the Del Monte Club, where they used to have dances and stuff like that. And so they've known each other from way back. So my Uncle Ed was one of my father's closest friends within the family. This is me. It says 1966, 2 years old. This is me in front of our house in San Jose, California, when I was 2. There's another old one. This is everybody in my family. So that's my father holding me. The date on the back of this is also, the date on the back of this is 1966. That's my father holding me. That's my mother. And to my mother's right is my sister Nancy. And then in front of Nancy is my brother John. And then in front of my mother is my sister Nora. And that's me and my father. 1966. This one says 1969. I love this picture. I can remember when this picture was taken. So this is shortly after my father was killed in a helicopter crash. This is 1969. I'm about 4 and a half. This is my cousin Lisa, and they wanted me to take a picture with Lisa, and she came and sat down next to me, and she started giving me big hugs and kisses, and it like made me feel all uncomfortable. Look at my body language and the blurred look on my face. It's too bad it's not clearer. I don't know why. I'm screwing something up with the video. Maybe the lighting is making it not focus properly, or I'm not holding it right. But anyway, this is it. This is me, and my cousin Lisa hugging on me, and she's a sweetheart. She was great. She still is great. Here's another one, 1969. This is Happier Times. This is a little bit later, like maybe a few months after this, and maybe I'm 5 right here. This is our backyard. That's the back of our screened-in back porch. It's the side of it, the left side of it. And that's my friend Steve. This is my best friend from kindergarten till 3rd grade. And then we continued to be friends all the way up till high school, but we just didn't live with each other. He always lived in San Jose, and I moved away and moved to the mountains and then to the beach. But we still always hung out because our mothers were really good friends, and that's why we were friends, because our parents had known each other before we were born. This is also 1969. This is me with the big smile right here. Sitting next to me is my cousin Kelly. And then next to Kelly is his younger brother, my cousin Sean. And then behind us is my older brother John. Now, the 3 kids sitting in front there without their shirts on, we became very, very good friends throughout our lives. Now, they both lost their father the same year. Their dad was killed in a car crash also in 1969. Their mother, my cousin Kathy, she remarried. And so these little guys are actually my second cousins, but we're almost the exact same age. Sean and I are the same age, and Kelly is 1 year older than us. And it all turned out that we all, especially Kelly and I, ended up really being into the same stuff, all the same stuff, you guys, like comic books, science fiction, horror movies, Edgar Rice Burroughs, Frank Frazetta, Star Wars, Micronauts, all the action figures you could think of. Kelly and I were into all that 70s kid stuff. Now, Sean wasn't that much into it because Sean was always more serious, and both these kids ended up becoming ended up in law enforcement, careers in law enforcement. So Sean was just like me. Sean joined the Army and was in the 82nd Airborne Division, but after the Army, he went into the police and became SWAT. He was in SWAT, and for a long, long time, and ended up like in command of SWAT. So he was always very serious. Even when he was a little kid, his room was like decorated with Army stuff. Like he had like camouflage stuff, and me and Kelly are playing with action figures and reading comic books, and he's watching documentaries and reading about World War II and stuff. Great guys, super, super cool. I miss them. I haven't seen them in years. I need to get back in touch with them. Great guys. This is from 1961. This looks like it's 4 years before I was born. This is my father. He was a helicopter pilot. He used to take us for rides in helicopters all the time, but this is earlier before I was born. But that's my siblings, my two older sisters and my brother, and they're inside of a Hiller. And my father is either getting ready to take off or he just landed, and we used to fly around. So some of my early memories of flying, and they're even a part of my like dream life, like while I'm asleep, it goes way, way back. So I can remember seeing the world from a helicopter from about age 3 or age 4 and up until my dad died. But I can remember that's imprinted into my mind what Los Angeles and what Malibu and Westlake and Thousand Oaks, because that's where we lived, what it looked like from the air, like what the swimming pools looked like from low altitude in a helicopter. And then I ended up joining the Army, and I ended up being in the Air Cavalry in the 82nd Airborne Division. So I had this history of flying in helicopters as a small child, and then just 13 years or 14 years after that, after I'm done with high school, I end up jumping out of airplanes and jumping out of and rappelling out of helicopters on a totally regular basis, and flying in Black Hawks with the doors open and all that fun stuff came naturally to me. And so it was something that was almost dreamlike in a way. And the same with parachuting. Once I got used to it, I still have dreams about it, but I used to have more dreams about parachuting and surfing also. Christmas 1969. This is the Christmas after my father died. This is me in the front, that little sweater vest, Sister Nancy, my mother, my brother, my other sister Nora with the red on, and that's my grandmother. I've only met her twice. I met her here for this Christmas, then I met her a few years later when we went. She lived in Utah, so I met her a few years later when we did a cross country vacation to Yellowstone. We stopped in Utah, and I met her there. There's all of my older siblings before I was born. The date on the back of this is 1959. My sister Nora, the blonde, and in the middle, my sister Nancy, the Italian, and then on her lap, my brother John, the Portuguese. This is a Christmas tree in Saudi Arabia that we made out of chopped up empty plastic water bottles. I don't know if you can see what that is, but those are the bottoms of water bottles that have been cut off with a knife and then stuck in the ground to form the shape of the Christmas tree. And then in the middle are the other parts of the bottles cut in half. And that's it. And then we put presents and decorations that we made out of crap, pieces of shrapnel and rock and MREs. Fun, huh? Here's a paper fly that's the next thing. This is a fly that I used in animation for a short video that I made called The Flymobile. This is a picture that I used. So this is a picture that I took. This is one of my favorite pictures that I ever took, probably. It says October 85. So I love this picture. This is the shadow or the silhouette of a Black Hawk helicopter on the desert floor. This is in Fort Irwin, California. There's more of construction of the hospital. Remember how I told you we built the hospital in the desert? Yeah, there it is. Oh, this might be the picture that was in the paper. I was wrong. This is the picture that was in the paper, right? I forget. This might have been the picture that was in the paper. This is me bringing out my laundry on some, I don't know what this is, like a bombed out cement plant that completely abandoned in the middle of the desert. I mean, I don't know what it was. That's what it was. I don't think I can show this picture. I know I can't. This is a picture of us at the beach again. That's me with the tan and the abs. And that's my friend Jim. Rojo. We call him Rojo. Hey, look at him. He was a big guy. He's like an offensive lineman. And he's one of my closest friends. I knew him for years and years, before the war and after the war. We were stationed multiple places together for a couple, 3 years in a row. Great guy. Still friends with him, still in touch with him to this day. If you're watching this video, Jim, I love you, buddy. That's Jim with the Army t-shirt on. In the center is Ken, Big Daddy. He's wearing one of the t-shirts that I made. So remember how I told you we would just, do whatever you want. When you're in a war, there's nobody watching you or doing, nobody cares. You're in charge of yourself in most cases in this situation that we were in. And so I was making t-shirts for people, like custom t-shirts with a Sharpie marker on people's shirts. And they would just give me their shirts and they would tell me what they wanted or give me an idea and I would make it. This one I think says El Barrio Gym, which was our gym that we made up. We made our own gym out of like Fred Flintstone cement weights. That's why we were all in such good shape, as we were like working out when we weren't like at the beach and we weren't taking care of casualties, which were mostly Iraqi prisoners. That's what we were building that hospital for. And that was that picture that I couldn't show you. So we're treating these Iraqi prisoners, and a lot of them are dead or half dead sometimes, or all blowed up. But for fun, we're doing that other stuff I showed you, and I'm making people t-shirts. So many t-shirts, so many requests for t-shirts. At the end, I'm charging people $20 a t-shirt to draw on their shirts, and they're all becoming completely custom. I'll show you guys a sketchbook sometimes. When we get to all that stuff, I'll show you some of the art that I made when I was in the war, and I made a lot of art when I was in the war. So I took some pictures of these shirts that I made for these guys. One of the coolest things that I ever saw was after the war had been over for like a year or something. Went over to this buddy of mine, Carl, and he wasn't even like a real close friend of mine. He wasn't even in my platoon, but we knew each other because we were from places that are close. Like I was from Monterey and he was from Watsonville, which is like a half hour away and almost the same town. So I went over to his house one time in Watsonville. He had me over there for a couple of beers, and on the wall framed was the t-shirt that I drew for him from the war that he had framed, and I thought that was really cool. This is me. That's the Persian Gulf in the background. This is at the very beginning. Early on, I remember this day, and I remember this picture was taken by this girl, and something happened, and at the same time as my platoon, my unit is moving out, we got a notification that they needed some help somewhere, and they needed a couple medics, and so I went, and this girl, I can't remember her name, she was an anesthesiologist. She went, and we worked at this field clinic for like 8 or 10 or 12 hours, and did a bunch of shit, like did a bunch of sick call and treated a ton of patients. So we like did this big, they were like swamped. We get there and this place was swamped. Didn't have enough caregivers or something. So we go there and we work all day, and then on the way back, so we're getting a ride in a truck, and on the way back we drive by the beach and we stop and we took pictures of each other. She took this picture, and then when we caught up to our unit to where everybody was, it was nice because we didn't even though we worked all day at this little fucked up clinic, everybody back in our unit. Oh, we're almost done, you guys. Everybody back in our unit was had been working really hard, like putting up tents and moving in. So when I got to my tent was already made. My guys already had my cot there, and some of my stuff was already there, so wasn't that bad. Last picture we're going to look at is a picture of Ken. It's my friend Ken. This is at Half Moon Bay. We're sitting by the pool and having fun in the sun, just enjoying ourselves. Hope you enjoyed this video of us looking at some old pictures that I just randomly found and we just looked at. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day and evening. And who knows, maybe we'll tackle the rest of the stack. This is what's left. So this is what we went through. Picture of Ken on top. And then this is what we still have to go through. So maybe we'll do more. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.